You ever try to change AC compressor on the car and you only change the AC compressor? Well, yeah, you can get away with that plenty of times, but not always. My previous video, we saw this AC compressor build up to over 300 degrees in a matter of seconds of starting. If you take your belts off real quick, this has a lot of drag to it, but all the heat was coming from inside here. If we take all these bolts off and pop it open, you'll most likely see a bunch of like little pistons inside here. They're probably causing a bunch of heat and sent shrapnel all throughout the system. If you change just the compressor, well, all those pieces of shrapnel can screw up your brand new compressor. Some places aren't warranting them anymore unless you change everything on the system. Many times, including the condenser as well. There's your radiator down there. There'll be another radiator looking thing right in front of it that's smaller. That's your condenser. Metal gets stuck all inside the system or contaminants or whatever. You put your new AC compressor on, but there's still contaminants in the system. And your new air compressor goes out in a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. Well, that's no good. This video is more for non-professional mechanics, even though we might get some true mechanic keyboard warriors that say, duh. Well, a lot of people don't know this. So for just a couple bucks more, we can get a new accumulator, expansion valve, even comes with the PAG oil you need, way more O-rings and seals than you need. All the extras go in my bucket. I got tons of them. So if you're ever thinking about tackling a compressor yourself, public service announcement, get the whole kit for a couple dollars more. This is a Four Seasons. I regard Four Seasons as a pretty good brand. And if you order it from Rock Auto, you're getting the same Four Seasons kit and compressor than you would from your local parts store, but instead of paying $500, you only pay $250. Ooh, is that a little bit of cheese in my beard? Just ate some of that habanero jack, really fancy award-winning cheese, man. That's good. This compressor is already removed. See that hollow spot? Only calls for a little over an hour to change that. But we also gotta flush the lines. We got to flush everything. Expansion valve is right there. Always recommended to change with the compressor. We come over here and for some reason they were like, hey, let's put this accumulator dryer thingamajigger way down in here. I do believe it calls for like 0.1 more hours to change that than it does the compressor. Silly. So obviously all you DIYers aren't going to have a $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 AC machine. So right here up on my shelf, I got all kinds of random stuff. I even got Lysol up there. But you can buy a can of this. Power, clean, and flush. And flush those lines off. Just read the instructions. You'll be fine. Now you can skip this step, but you probably shouldn't skip this step if you want a 100% success ratio. But you're going to want to vacuum the system down too. Now this is the kit that Orion Motor Tech, OMT, sent me. You can find it in my Amazon store. Very affordable tools that these people come out with. Most of them hit the mark. Some of them I've been disappointed with, and those haven't made it to the videos. I've used this vacuum pump probably about 20 times. Quick and easy to grab. These manifold gauges are getting more and more affordable. There's some choices at Harbor Freight as well. It's if you want to do the job right. You want to slap things together. Well, your compressor might not be warranted. They might have questions. Or it might not last as long as it should if you don't go through all these steps. Seeing as I'm charging people for stuff, I have to go through all the proper steps. This is a quick rundown, not vehicle specific. If you're looking for vehicle specifics, I'm sure there's a good YouTube video out there for you. This is just common mistakes that I see people make, not researching enough or just think they can change the compressor and it'll be fine. I've had a situation where the guy's compressor only lasted, a few months. And I was like, well, what did you do? Well, changed the compressor, filled it up with those little baby cans. I buy the 30-pound canisters at a time. I've gotten all kinds of stuff over the years. Let me see, like just recently found a couple cans in a junk car. Let me find a can. Well, there's probably a can somewhere up there. Do I see one? I don't know. I got all kinds of pag oil up there, even some dye. That's some dye. I don't use those disposable cans of dye anymore. I actually have like a little injector tool now, and you can just buy a big bottle of dye, and you rarely need dye, especially since I got that refrigerant detector tool now to find leaks. Super cool. I did a video on that. It's in my Amazon store. But if you're trying to find a leak, I think it was only like 15 bucks, and it worked. I showed it. It worked. We found a condenser leak. But not having a big machine or manifold gauges or buying in bulk, whatever, you buy the cans and they'll say, what are they? 4 ounces, 8 ounces, 12 ounces, whatever. You got to look up or ask your parts store. I believe Napa online has a reference for fluid capacities. AMSOIL does, but I'm not sure if they include AC. But you got to have a little program on your computer. If you're a professional, it's going to show you, oh, this system takes 13 ounces. If you don't know, have a way to measure out how many ounces are going in it. I do, because I have a scale on my 30-pound doohickey. You're gonna want to be, you don't have to be exactly 13 ounces, but you want to be close. You can buy those cans at the parts store or even Walmart, Myers, whatever, that already have the hose attached with a little pressure gauge on it. You can get the cans with the twist-on puncture style. And, well, if each can is so many ounces, you know, do the math. So those little puncture hoses are only like 10 bucks or whatever. There's some good deals online if you're looking for them. The other thing is, compressors take oil. A lot of people don't know that, or they're tackling it for the first time. Again, this is not for the experienced AC technician. This compressor, they usually come with a sticker on them. This one says pre-filled with 3 ounces of PAG, let's see, PAG 46. There's different types of PAG oil or compressor oil. Make sure you know what it takes and how much. I think total fill, top of my head, I think it was 8 ounces for this system. So it's already pre-filled with 3. That's why it's important to read that sticker on there. So we're gonna add 5 more ounces. 5, see, not 4, 5. I'm bad at counting, what can I say? We're gonna add that to the system. When you vacuum down the system, the oil goes to the lowest point, and a vacuum won't pull oil out of the system, but it will pull gases out of the system, obviously. So we're gonna use this vacuum. We're going to use our manifold set, something that's affordable to the DIYer, especially if they're, oh, maybe I'll do a couple AC jobs throughout my life, or you can use the manifold gauges for something else. They're way cheaper than they used to be with all these other companies out there. I think that about covers a lot of the stuff that the DIYer would need to know. Just trying to think off the top of my head. Anytime an AC seal, O-ring, gasket, anything gets taken apart, always change it or you will have a leak. Sometimes these aluminum lines like to corrode on connection spots. Make sure you clean them off good with a soft bristle wire brush or something. I've got these soft bristle ones for my Dremel tool, like for cleaning up corrosion on aluminum. Works great, but that's enough talking. The compressor's off. I'm gonna change the expansion valve. I'm gonna change the accumulator or receiver dryer or whatever the heck they call it these days. On the parts list it said dryer. So if you have an accumulator, it should have an orifice tube. If you have an expansion valve, it should have a dryer. And sometimes they're stuffed up in the radiator. You unscrew the bottom, not the radiator, the condenser. I said I'm bad with counting and words, I guess. But you unscrew the little thing off the bottom of the condenser, pull the sack out, and then push the sack in. But, you know, like I said, a specific vehicle, look it up for that. These are basics. I'll put all these parts on and just give you a really quick show. And that'll be that. And hopefully this helps some people out and letting them know, hey, you got to do a little more research than just slapping pulleys on, slapping compressors on. Do a little more research. Make sure you get many more months, years, whatever, out of the parts you install. This specific vehicle is a 2005 Chevy Equinox. In case you didn't know, under your hood, if it has the original hood, you'll find all your information on any Chevy. 3.4 liter expansion valve replacement. Bada boom. Replace a receiver dryer. This one looks like a really stubby accumulator, but it's a receiver dryer. I got the accumulator or receiver dryer installed. That was fun. And an expansion valve. The compressor needs to go back on Once the compressor's back on with its new seal, we need to inject 5 ounces of PAG 46 with the oil injector and that one AC kit into it. Here's a bunch of seals and washers, and don't worry about that stuff. But yeah, air compressor comes back on. We put the oil in, and then, well, we can vacuum it down before, we're gonna vacuum it down before we put the oil in. So we put the vacuum on the port and vacuum it down and let it sit for about a half hour. So we need to clean this wheel off right here and install the compressor and put the belt back on. That's. Oh look, Jamie's fixing the wire on the angle grinder. I didn't film, guys, but compressor's back on, new O-rings in the compressor, everything's put back together, new belt, had to take the motor mount off, took this stuff out of the way, good to go. So we pulled a vacuum for, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes, just let it, set it and forget it, make sure all the humidity and stuff's out of the system. And we shut our valve off and see if it holds a vacuum. It's been holding a vacuum right at 30 for quite a while now, so we know our system's sealed. We are good to inject our oil and fill it up with some refrigerant. Let's go. Here's a cheap little kit I got laying around. You fill it up with your PAG oil. The vacuum automatically pulls the plunger down. I wish I would have filmed it. Maybe we still got enough vacuum left to show you. But this is about the cheapest kit you can get. I did a video on it. It's like a dye kit. You get your oil dyes, but it's mostly for AC. It comes with a UV flashlight, glasses. I don't even remember who sent me this, but I think it's in my Amazon store, maybe, possibly, who knows. I think so. It came with some other goodies. I don't remember what it all came with. It's been sitting down at the bottom of my, not this rack, but my other room where I keep stuff that I don't use. This is a very affordable DIYer kit right there. It looks like my measuring cup's all dirty and nasty, but it's not. That's, don't use brake cleaner to clean these out. I learned that there's certain plastics that just eats. It just kind of stained it. I actually just washed this up with soapy water. That's our PAG 46 right there. This little kit also came with a little funnel. So we got to add some more to this system. Get it up to 8 ounces total in the system. Actually, I'm going to recheck that right now and make sure it's accurate. Now that we got our oil in, we're hooked up with our low side here. This system is totally empty, and my spec sheet over there says 28 ounces for a system fill. We have 192 ounces. This is the scale that's in my Amazon store. This is my original setup that I got back in the day. Obviously not the same tank. Got to buy a new one whenever you get run out. If you want to buy in this kind of capacity, you got to be certified and whatnot here in Michigan. But you can hook this up to a canister or one of those little things. And I'm pretty sure I found one of those little piercers in my parts room. I don't even know where this little sucker came from, but it's sitting down here. But it pierces a can, got a gauge on it, hooks up. So yeah, there's a bunch of different styles you can get. When this gets down to 168 ounces, we'll be totally filled. Valve is open here. Everything's closed here. It's just kind of how you use this kit that you can find in my store. We're gonna make sure this guy's in the open position. Make sure this guy's in the open position. As soon as we open this knob, that's the refrigerant knob going to there, it'll start filling up our system. So here we go. This tank's getting pretty low or else it would fill faster. Oh snap, my battery's going out. No, low battery. I literally haven't put a new battery in this since I got it. It is not 138. It doesn't suck down that fast. I dug up the kit for this. It was by OMT, came with oil for the vacuumer, and there was this gauge inside there. I think it came with the kit because it looks never been used. And I found an old can laying around. So this is gonna puncture your can. It's gonna screw on. And if you're using R1234YF, stupid semis. It's actually going to be a different piercer adapter thingy. Just to let you know. Make sure you get the right one if you're DIYing this. But like, yeah, so this can is 12 ounces. And that's how you use that. That goes to your low side. This punctures your can so that you can put it in when you're filling it up. Put the can upside down, get all that goodness out. Got her all recharged up. And if you go down to that compressor, it's been running for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Running at about 109 degrees instead of 600 degrees or so. Very nice. I find this hard to believe, but my thermal imaging camera is showing 40 degrees coming out of the vents. I find it hard to believe. I feel like it's a little off. I wish I had my meat thermometer on me. I usually put the meat thermometer right in the vent. But, yeah, that's frosty.